Fiona again from Life of a Crazy Mum, and this evening we're going to be talking about power of the mind. So what I mean by that is positive thinking, self-talk, and how you can turn a negative situation into a learning experience and find a positive outcome. So before I do that, I'll briefly describe what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So I am doing a live stream 15-hour challenge, all in aid of Mind Charity and to raise awareness and support for mental health. Obviously, I'm here to raise funds as well. So I've put donation buttons in various places. So if you can, please donate as well. So I'm halfway through my challenge. So I started on Sunday evening. I'll be finishing next Sunday evening. And yes, let's raise as much awareness as we can. So please like, share, follow, do all the good stuff to help me get my content out there. Okay, so why 15 hours? Well, that's significant because 1 in 15 people will attempt to take their own life within their lifetime. I am one of those people, so I resonated with that statistic and I wanted to challenge myself to do that. I've never done live streaming before. You might be able to tell. I'm not too sure. So I didn't want to go for the bigger target, and the lower target just seemed a little bit too low for my liking. So yeah, right in the middle, and it just happened to be a statistic that worked as well. Okay, so I'm, like I said, Life of a Crazy Mum. You can find me on all the other social medias that you can think of. Search that name and you should stumble across me. And hopefully you can give me some follows. You can see the content I put out. I put out a lot of stuff lifestyle related really, but I always have a mental health kind of twist to it as well, just to hello on TikTok, just to remind people that it's important to look after your mental health and it's important to look after each other. So tonight's session, I've called it Power of the Mind. Ooh, it sounds like we're going to do some crazy superhero stuff, but we're not. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about some different ways in which we can turn our mindset around, and this doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of practice. Okay, so you've got to stick with some of these methods, and you might not think they work, but actually in the long term they do. And I can tell you from experience, I've never been one of those people who are like, oh, I meditate, I'm very positive. I've always been quite positive in the sense of, oh, I'm happy, yeah. But not, to myself. I've never been very nice or very kind to myself. So tonight is all about how can you go about that? How can you start being kind to yourself? And how can you start changing those negative thoughts into more positive ones or more positive outcomes? Where should we start? Well, I am going to start with one of my favorite all-time tools, and I talked about it on Monday night in the tools section. I'm going to talk about it again now, but with a slight twist, okay? So a lot of people like to call these things gratitude journals or something like that. And what I do, I use my journal, if you can call it, it's from a very long time ago. I call it highlights. And at the end of every month, and you can do it, like some people do it every day, just one sentence at the end of the day, like what were they grateful for that day? Whereas over a month, I wanted to start recognizing my achievements. Doesn't matter how big or small. So I'll give you some example of what some of my achievements were back in December 2018. Okay, so I had a lovely family Christmas in Mountain Ash. There you go. I had a lovely family Christmas. And it's things like that you've got to start remembering about, I think. When life is bringing you right down, you've got to really start honing in on those really important aspects. I moved to a new team and they were really nice. So I had a really bad experience in work with one of the teams I worked for at the time. And then I managed to move to a new team and they were the complete opposite. They were super supportive, super helpful. And I just felt so much better. Okay. So instead of looking at the negatives, I looked at the positive outcome, which was I moved team and I found a better life. And I did actually. I had a much better time at that new team. So that's like what you can do there. You can start doing your monthly, highlights. You could do it weekly. You could do it daily. Just whatever works for you. Some people, like I said, do a gratitude journal where you might write each day what you're grateful for. And it can be something as minor as I am grateful for my family, or I am grateful that the sun was shining today. Okay, so whatever made you happy, or made you smile, or made you feel less alone, start recognizing those bits in your daily life, and slowly you will notice the good bits a little bit more, and perhaps stop focusing on the rough bits a little bit. Not obviously not always, because life gives us pants sometimes, doesn't it, when we want a pair of knickers. But the point is that if you think, well, pants do the same job as knickers at the end of the day, and nobody sees them anyway because they're under our clothing, who cares? See what I did? I changed the negative into positive, right? And that's what you got to do sometimes. And you've just got to think, right, it's not the situation I really wanted, but how can I make it fit my purpose? It's kind of encroached into a different aspect I want to talk about. And then what I was doing as well, I don't know if you can see, is doing an end of year review as well. So in my, so I love bullet journals so much because you could just, it doesn't matter if you don't fill them out for weeks, months, or whatever on end, you could just pick up the next page. Whereas if you buy a diary, like I always buy a diary, but then if you don't fill it out you just end up with big gaps, don't you, with things you don't know what to do with. Whereas you can see, look, ooh, there's like loads of stuff in there. And that's not just all from 1 year. That's probably a few years accumulated. Anyway, I keep diverting myself. What I do at the end of the year as well, I always try to set myself achievable New Year's resolutions. And I wouldn't really I don't call them resolutions anymore. I call them just simply goals. And sometimes my goal is just to live as much as I can, especially after my experience in 2019. So, my review of 2018, again, is easy to forget all the good stuff that's happened, especially, do you know what, especially during like the last few years, with COVID, politics. Whew, it's easy to forget the good stuff that goes on in your life. So, I went on some holidays. Remind yourself. And you had good ones. Well, I did. Did you? Did you have good holidays? I booked a ticket to Coachella. So that was So that was in 2018. I booked my first ever trip to Coachella. And I went in 2019. I went on my own as well. Oh, I had such an amazing time. See how it all comes back. Never mind that I was in a little bit of debt. It was worth it. Life is for living sometimes. Don't go get in debt because I said so, okay? It's bad. If you can't afford it, you save up for it. That is my biggest learning curve. You save up, and that's how you go and get the nice things that you want, okay? And oh, look at this one. I started to love myself. And I'll tell you a little bit about self-talk and self-love and how you can, a few techniques. I mean, it sounds a bit wacky, but they worked for me. And if they work for me, they can work for anyone, because I am the biggest skeptic of them all, to be honest with you. I roll my eyes at just about everything in life. Anyway, oh, and I decorated a room for my son. So 2018 was the year me and my son kind of reconnected, and he was oh, can't remember how old he was, 15, 16 at the time. And yeah, we had like a year of hiatus from each other. Oh, and I was heartbroken. I was. Yeah, we got talking again. I was so excited. I decorated a room in our house because he lived with his dad at the time. He lives back with me now. Just couldn't resist me. Oh, that sounds weird. Delete that bit. Okay. Anyway, so that is how you can use journaling. A few different methods there. So you got the gratitude journal, the focusing on the good part, positivity journal type thing, and make notes of them, make ledgers. You could even do scrapbooking or something. Like some people who like to collect ticket stubs for this, like I do, but I never put them into a scrapbook, which that would be nice. Just something that helps you remember the good times that you've had, the positive times in your life. So even if you do have a down day, which we all do, you can go back to your journal and go, oh God, last month I done so much. It's no wonder I'm feeling a little bit, tired. I mean, that's why, look at me, I got bed head. I am exhausted today. This week has been amazing because I'm getting my content out there. I'm helping you guys. I'm helping Mind. But it's taken a lot out of me. So I just had to have a quick power nap, which turned into a 2-hour power nap. And I woke up 15 minutes before the live. But on the positive side, I'm feeling a bit more refreshed. I made it. And I don't feel as tired. Hopefully I'll sleep tonight. Otherwise that could be a problem. Anyway, I'm rambling again. So the next thing I want to talk about is something called the CIA technique. Now, this is a way to change your mindset around those situations that you perhaps can't control and you get so frustrated with, and they play on your mind, and they cause you so much anguish in life. Well, this is the technique for you. And again, takes a lot of practice, but it's worked wonders for me. So, CIA, think of yourself as an agent of the world. Can you control the scene? Can you control the situation? So let's think of something. The Prime Minister, for example. Can we control them? Well, no, because only the MPs can vote in their new Tory leader, so we can't control that. Can we influence that? No. So you just got to accept it. Yeah, okay, little wind in your moan, but don't let it get you down. You just got to accept it, and you just got to go, oh God, oh well, see what happens. Meh. What about when you've got a family member, for example, who doesn't understand your mental health struggles? My mum's one of them. I love her to bits, but she just doesn't understand mental health struggles. She's got such a strong mindset. She manages to block, I think, it all out. Oh, she's got a brain made of steel. No, none of those negative thoughts can get in there. I don't know. Anyway, can I control how she reacts? No, I cannot. Can I influence her? A tiny bit. I can, try and help her understand mental health, but she's an older woman, older than me, and she is who she is. So I gotta accept it. I accept my mum for who she is. I accept she's not going to understand my mental health struggles. So I'm not going to get upset if she makes comments like, "Oh, what have you got to be depressed about?" I'm like, whatever. Instead of arguing about it, you just got to go, well, look, you don't understand it, so let's not go down that rabbit hole, okay? Manage the situations, but you've just got to accept it. You've got to accept that some people don't know how to act around people with mental health issues. Some people don't understand it themselves because they have perhaps good mental health, or whenever bad things happen, they just bounce back. And it's automatic for them. They don't go through those thought processes that perhaps we do. They are not subjected to periods of depression or anxiety, or the plethora of other mental health issues that are out there, addictions and things like that. They not immune to it, but their mind just copes with it a lot better. So we've got to just accept that's who people are sometimes. No getting around that, unfortunately. So that's what you can do and I do it with a lot of situations now. I'll do that quick checklist in my head sometimes if I feel like I'm getting really, really frustrated. When you're waiting for the train and like you've got to be somewhere, say you've got a meal booked and the train is running late, and now you're going to be late for the meal, and you're getting all anxious and angry about it. Can you control it? Well, no, I can't make the train turn up. Can I influence it? Apart from telling the restaurant that I'm going to be late, I can't make the train turn up. So I just got to accept it. I just got to accept that I'm probably going to be late for my meal. And as long as I let the restaurant know, then that's all I can do. Okay? So it's about, come down a few levels and think about it. Can I control it? Can I influence it? Then I shall accept it. And that's it. Once you accept things, it's like, I no longer have to stress out about that. That's amazing, isn't it? Right. Okay. My next topic is all about self-talk. Self-talk and how our internal monologue can affect our mental health. Now, I used to be really, really bad at this, okay? Because I was one of those people that would perhaps look in the mirror and go, oh God, you're useless. Or I would be getting dressed and I've always had issues around my weight. I've got really, any woman out there who has had babies and C-sections or whatever that has that loose skin that never tightens up, will understand that, "Oh, I just can't get rid of it." So sometimes I used to, I look in the mirror and criticize myself to within an inch of my life. Okay. And it was no good for my self esteem. It was no good for my state of mind because I would constantly be negative to myself all the time. Right. I would always tell myself I wasn't good enough. I'm an imposter in my own world. I'm not good enough to do that job. It's a fluke. I'm not good enough to study. Everything I do is a fluke. I'm not good enough to, find a long-term decent husband or boyfriend or whatever, because I'm unattractive and fat or whatever, right? I just tell myself all that kind of rubbish all the time, whether it's true or not. So I learned, and it's really weird and it's really hard, but I learned how to change that inner self-talk to positive. And I started, you'll guess it, I started writing it down to begin with, because the thought of just looking in the mirror and saying really nice stuff to myself was a little bit, yeah, I'm not ready for that. Thank you very much. Right. But I did progress onto that. Not like every day. I don't just purposefully stand in the mirror. Do you know what I mean? That would be weird. Well, it's not weird. If it works for you, crack on. Keep doing it, right? But anyway, I'll do my process. So I used to just start writing things, lists about what makes me, like good things, good positive things, And instead of saying, "Oh God, I'm a fluke when it comes to education," I started thinking, well, perhaps I have got a bit of a brain on me, because even with a limited amount of studying, I still managed to, get a 2-2 in my degree and become a maths teacher. Imagine what I could do if I did actually study. And I think sometimes I like to sabotage myself because I'm like, well, if I fail, it's because I haven't studied. Whereas if I study and fail, then I know I'm really rubbish. Does that make sense? But what I'll do is I won't study and then do it anyway. And then I'll pass and I'll be like, oh, imagine what I could have got a better grade if I studied. Anyway, but it's all about, because of the way I viewed myself as a not very intelligent person. I think that comes from being in school. I was never the A-star pupil. I was always in like set 2s, sometimes a set 3. And all my GCSEs, I got 1 B in maths and all the rest C's and a couple of D's. So I was that C grade pupil. I was the average, complete average pupil in school. And I don't know who else went to school in the 90s, but when you were an average pupil in the 90s, you weren't going to university. You weren't good enough to have like professional jobs. So that's what they tell you. So yeah, it was only when I sort of got into engineering when I was 20 and done a modern apprenticeship and done all my level 3 qualifications through that. And then when I left, I done my teaching degree in maths and science. I started to believe that I do actually know a little bit. There are things that I don't know. Biology, in my degree, we had to do all 3 sciences. Oh my God, biology. Biology was the bane of my life. But luckily, one of the friends I made, or perhaps the only friend I made on my degree course, she was really good at biology and not so good at physics, whereas I was really good at physics. So we just helped each other, and she passed physics and I passed biology. So, you've got to, if you've got a weakness in life, you just find yourself a buddy who's strong in that area. Same goes for mental health. Don't find somebody who's going to keep bringing you down. You find people who are going to lift you up. You find those friendship groups, and you find those members of your family who you can confide in that are going to lift you up like that. Instead of go, oh yeah, yeah, no. Anyway, anyway, self-talk. Get me back on track. Come on. So start writing down things on, and I used to start with simple things like I am a mother. I mean, that's a positive thing. Sometimes it's bloody negative. I can say that. I don't think my children are watching me tonight. But no, it's a positive thing. And then from that, like, I am a mother. It's like, actually, all the hang-ups I got about my belly, I grew 2 humans in there. And not only did I grow 2 humans in there, I had to have them cut out of there. Oh, Bethany's listening. Sorry, Beth. My daughter is watching me. I didn't mean it. I'm joking. So, once you've got like the high level sorted, you can actually weave it through and find all the positives related to that. So like that, I'm proud of my stomach now because I got 2 amazing human beings out of it. And so what? I'm proud of that stomach now. And now you see all these things, beach bodies and God knows what. Oh, stuff there. I went to Ibiza back in September. I was around the pool in my bikini. Don't you worry about that. Right, okay? If other people are offended by your body, that's their problem, not yours. That's all I've got to say about that one. Then, you can do things like, I am intelligent. And you can then start going into the weeds about why you're intelligent. Start proving to yourself that you are intelligent. I got a degree. I've got a professional job. I've done 60 credits of a master's degree. And I'm constantly learning. What other stuff did I use? But I used to put in there about how I look because, nobody looks in the mirror and thinks, oh, I'm gorgeous. Well, some people do, but I've never been one of those people. I just think I'm average looking. I don't think I'm ugly. I haven't got like a nose out of place or, I don't know. Define ugly, define pretty. It's all subjective at the end of the day, isn't it? So, you go, well, actually, I am a kind and caring person. And you list some reasons why you're kind and caring. And you can start listing things about why you are worthy of love, perhaps, if you're single or if you're already in a relationship, married, whatever. Because I know, so my mental health in particular can make me sabotage relationships because I don't think I'm worthy. I don't think I'm worthy of love. I don't think I am, I don't know, attractive or whatever I'm feeling, and I'll sabotage it. So start listing like, why are you worthy of this love? And you do, and it works. And what else? Just anything that you think negatively about yourself, change it into a positive and start saying it to yourself. And whenever you hear that voice in your head going, oh, you don't belong in this job because you don't really know anything. You can go, actually, it's like having the devil and an angel on your shoulders. They can have a little battle. And you go, actually, I do know what I'm doing, and I do deserve to be in this job, and I do deserve to be promoted or whatever. Okay. And you can start changing that inner monologue. And then, like I said, you can even take it to the mirror. When you're brushing your teeth in the morning, obviously you don't have to say it out loud. Yeah, be a bit weird. But in your mind, you can go, oh, you got beautiful eyes. Oh, sometimes I do say it out loud to wind my kids up more than anything, especially my daughter, because she does think I am literally a crazy man. So I'll be like in the hallway, and we got a mirror in the hallway, and I'll be like, oh, who's that beautiful lady? And she's like, oh, you're so weird. But even things like that, have a little joke with yourself, and it soon becomes, you start seeing a positive person back at you, and it's nice. Smile at yourself in the mirror. Look at your body in the mirror and go, oh, look at that. Oh, I remember where I got that scar from. Don't worry that you've got a scar. Oh, it's there. What are you going to do about it? CIA. Can you control it? No. Can you influence it? Well, you can probably get a tattoo over it or something if you want to, but there's still going to be a scar there. Accept it. Oh, oh God, this is going to sound really strange, but I love taking people on the journey of my scars. I got a story for all of them, I think. Yeah, I have. I know the story of every single scar. I'd be like, oh, I done that then, I done that then, and I done that then. Yeah, I don't hide them. And they're mostly all over my legs, to be honest. It's like Freddy Krueger's been at my legs. But yeah, be proud of them. You got them. Flaunt it. Don't worry about it. Anyway, it's easier said than done. It takes practice, but you got to. I'm telling you. I'm commanding you. For your own sanity. Learn to love yourself. So whatever your hang-ups are, start flipping that narrative in your mind, and or out loud. Say it out loud. Write it down on paper. That's what I do. And do it to yourself. And then it becomes automatic after a period of time. Like I notice now, even when, like very rarely now do I look in the mirror and hate on my body. I might think, oh, I need to lose weight. But then a part of me is like, oh, but, for certain reasons, I'm like, oh, yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah. So that's the 3 things. So gratitude journal, self-talk, and using that CIA technique. So those are the 3 key things, I would say, in changing that mindset around. So I did talk about how you can change a negative situation, and we talked about perhaps people or whatever, and the Prime Minister. But how can you change something, if something bad happens, how can you change that into a positive outcome? And there's not always going to be able, I mean, if you lose your job, for example, you can obviously, it's quite a traumatic thing to do. But actually, you can reflect on it and go, well, was I getting full job satisfaction from that job anyway? And answer yes or no. Was I working to my full potential? And was there a valid reason why I got sacked or had to leave or whatever? Okay. So ask yourself some fundamental questions about the situation. Try and break it down. And you can try and use that period of time then as a positive. So if you didn't like the job anyway, you can then go, well, actually, now losing my job has forced me into a situation where I've got to find a new job. So I'm going to focus on finding something that I am going to enjoy and that I'm going to be fulfilled at. And until I get that job, I can do a bit of learning, or I can do some creative stuff, or I can do that DIY I've been putting off for years because I haven't had time. So try and flip that negative situation around and try to find a few positive outcomes from it. And it'll hopefully help you not dwell quite as much on the I've been sacked. Unless it was like completely unfair, and then you might want to obviously seek some legal action or unfair dismissal and things like that. But again, CIA, if you've got a union or you've got the lawyers on the case anyway, it is what it is. You go through the process. You don't need to stress about it. It's in hand. So accept the rest of it for what it is and move on as much as you can. So that's just like one example of how you can take some positives out of that negative situation. Yeah, that's what I try to do. Or sometimes, like, I've been out of work for about 5 weeks before I just started my new job a few weeks ago, and in between I wasn't entitled to any benefits or anything like that, and I didn't even try applying. But I had all these plans to be busy around the house, do this, do that, do the next thing. But actually, what I really needed and what happened in the end was I needed a complete rest and detox from the hum and drum of work. And knowing that there wasn't an inbox somewhere collecting loads of emails for me to go back to, or knowing that I didn't have anything that I particularly needed to do. Yeah, it would have been nice to do finish the few jobs around the house that I wanted to do, but it's not the end of the world. They'll be there for another day. So I'm not going to beat myself up about that. I clearly needed a rest. Like I clearly needed a nap this evening. And, okay, that's fine. You don't have to justify it to anybody. Maybe yourself if you're beating yourself up about it, but if you need it, you need it. You got to listen to your body. And that's another thing about being trying to get positivity into your life is listen to your body, listen to your own self. What's your body telling you? If you're falling asleep at your desk, or if you're feeling lethargic or whatever, perhaps you need more sleep. Perhaps you need to be more, or perhaps you need to get out in the fresh air a little bit more. If you're getting a bit of cabin fever because you haven't been out of the house for a few days, or I can go like days or weeks without leaving the house. Only when I need bread and milk, when the kids eat it all, do I have to go out because I need toast and tea to survive. But I wouldn't say that's my mental health. I would say that's just who I am anyway. I'm a bit of a home bird. And yeah, so, but you do get cabin fever, and I do occasionally need to just go out of the house, and I'll go out, get some fresh air. So listen to your body, nap if you need to, exercise if you need to, relax, do whatever. Listen to your mind and don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel guilty about it. We attach guilt to so much, and then the guilt manifests into being that negative self-talk then, because our brain is telling us we've done something wrong. Don't listen to it. Listen to your angel, not your devil. The devil's negative, the angel's is different. So yeah, let your angel win. What else? Oh God, something just popped to my mind, and I had a really good idea then. Oh, meditation. Okay, so we talked about meditation on Monday, and I use a meditation app called Insight Timer. Now, there are loads out there. There's Calm, I think there's something called Mindful. I don't use none of the others because I have downloaded them in the past, but I found the free content is very, very limited, and to sort of access anything of any worth really, you've got to subscribe. Whereas on Insight Timer, the majority of their content is free. So I use Insight Timer and I mostly use it for sleeping. But however, for positive self-talk, there's meditations on there for that as well, guided meditations where they talk you through the process, and you just find a nice quiet space for, and you can find a meditation suit you. If you want 10 minutes, if you've got a 10-minute break, find a 10-minute one. You can search by time. So it's really cool. And you can find one about being mindful or being positive self-talk or self-love, learning how to be kind to yourself basically. So, and it's really good the way that they've done it. They've put all the meditations in certain categories and whatever. So, you can find the category, filter by whatever time you want. Like my sleep ones, I only need them for half an hour. I don't want them to go on longer than that, really. By the half an hour, I'm out for the count anyway, so they do work. Yeah, so have a look at some different meditations and listen to them. I find they are very good for just feeling positive and breathing, getting rid of some of that negative energy anyway. And it's not as wacky as you think, it's meditation's not I don't know, I think it's got a little bit of a stigma attached to it, for like yogis or spiritual people, that kind of thing. But really, it's not. And I found out that because I was like, oh, I don't know if meditation's going to be good for me. But it is, and there's so many different types of that. But obviously, for the positive self-talk and self-love and that kind of aspect, you will want the guided ones as opposed to just the music on its own. Otherwise, you're just listening to calming music and letting your brain run away with itself. Whereas the guided ones, you are focusing on the person speaking, so you're taking your mind off the humdrum of your internal mind, and you are listening to somebody else and you're absorbing what they say. And the more you do that, the more it happens naturally within you as the time goes on. Like now, I don't have to really put on a meditation app. I can kind of fall asleep. Like I say, I use mine mostly for sleeping. But I can slow down my breathing and I'll do the box method of 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold, that kind of thing. And I because when I like the meditations that help you visualize things. So one of the ones I use is, get all your thoughts of the day, put them into a boat, and then watch the boat like float off. And I visualize that on my own now. I've listened to that meditation up like a gazillion times, that particular one. So I kind of I kind of know what it says. So, but occasionally I still put the app on. Occasionally. But yeah, I mean, it's been a godsend, really. I'm so lucky that I got recommended that, because I probably wouldn't be meditating now if I didn't get recommended that. So give it a try. It's not going to be for everybody. Everything I'm talking about is not going to be for everybody, but the only way you find out is to try, and try it a few times. Try a few different meditations, or try a few different ways of journaling. Try a few different ways of, managing all your mental health symptoms. Okay, that's pretty much what we can do with our mind, really. And it's so powerful that your mindset and your internal speaking is so key to your mental health. And I have found over the last couple of years, the more I'm positive about myself versus the negative, the kind of easier I find it to deal with the negative stuff. So, perhaps like before, when I was in a very negative state of mind, when something bad would happen, I'd be like, oh, it's probably because you deserve it. That devil on my shoulder would be like, yeah, you deserve it anyway. Whereas now, I'm like, right, do what I said earlier. I'd be like, right, okay, let's analyze that a little bit more, ask myself a few basic questions about the situation. And, it could be a relationship. I've had a couple of, I don't know what I would call them, certainly not relationships, but friendish people. I don't know what you would call them. Anyway, people who want the perks but not the commitment. I don't want to say it more. Anyway, but I made the decision twice this year to cut off 2 different men in my life, because I broke it down. I was like, is this guy ever going to give me what I want? And the answer was no. I'm like, well, why am I giving him what he wants? I'm not getting anything out of this situation apart from anguish and wanting. I'm one of those. I used to be one of those people, and I've been until very recently, who will sort of you hang on to something, whether it's a friendship or a relationship or a job, because you're like, oh, well, if I give it a bit of time, it'll get better. If I give it a bit of time, I'll get what I want from it. If I give it a bit of time, I always wishing for the best for the future. And you never get it, because actually people are happy with what's happening in the moment, and you are satisfying their needs, and they got absolutely no intention of satisfying your needs. So I have ended things. And okay, I haven't got any men on my books. I sound like that sounds a bit weird. But yeah, I've got no significant man in my life at the moment. And yeah, okay, I miss a cuddle or whatever. But actually, I don't miss those people, because I wasn't getting anything from them that I wanted anyway. So, and I'm a bit happier, and I'd rather do that. I'd rather be, I tell you what, I'd rather have nothing than have something that I don't actually want anyway, because it just makes you even, oh, I don't know, what's the word, like longing, your anguish over things, going, oh, when am I going to get like my satisfaction out of it? When am I going, why am I not ready? Why am I not the chosen one? Why doesn't this person want to be with me? What's wrong with me? Actually, there's nothing wrong with me. It's them. They were the problem. I could go into detail, but I won't. But yes, I can assure you, they were the problem, not me. And they missed out on a really good thing, because actually you won't find anyone more loving and caring and honest than me. This isn't a dating segment, by the way. Just realised it might sound like that. But anyway, so it could be friends, it could be anything. Don't be afraid to cut those connections when they're not working for you, because as part of this whole positivity thing is having the right people in your life as well. The people surrounding you, your friends, your family, your colleagues. Make sure you pick the right ones to have conversations with, have social lives with, have intimate relationships with. Because really the wrong people can make your life even worse. And we don't need none of that negativity around here. Okay? We don't need none of that negativity. What we need are people who are going to lift us up and support us and help us and enjoy life with us. People who understand us. Well, they don't even have to understand us, but they have to be there. They have to, if people like my mum, she doesn't understand, she understands me, she doesn't understand mental health. But she's my mum. She doesn't have to be my support network. I've got a support network somewhere else. My mum can just be my mum. Okay? So, we're coming to the end of the show. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remind you of a few things that are coming up this week. Can you believe it's Wednesday already? I know, I'm losing track of the week. Anyway, luckily I haven't got the time to sing The Power of Love for you, unfortunately. I did suggest lunchtime I might do that, but I don't think I will. Okay, anyway, so Thursday, what do we have for you? Oh, I was going to do an earlier lunchtime chat, but I don't think I got to go to the meeting now. I don't really know what's happening. Anyway, lunchtime, you will find it on my social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I will be popping out the times. As always, I'll be live streaming on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Although, yeah. And then tomorrow evening, we've got How Do You Feel? Now, I did wonder whether I should try and get a guest speaker, but unless Bethany wants to volunteer, I haven't really got a guest speaker. And so what I might do is that one, we can discuss strategies on how you can let other people understand your verbal and body language cues about how you feel. Okay, so I'll talk more about that tomorrow as well. And, we've obviously got the chat boxes as well, so people can dive in the chat boxes and they can leave messages, and I don't mind reading them out as well. So, we're here for each other tomorrow evening. And then Friday, don't forget Friday, we got Feel Good Friday. And what we're going to be doing Friday, and that is an earlier session in the evening, that is going to be 6 till 7. 6 till 7. And the aim of that is to get us into the party mood. So what we're going to do is Friday evening, obviously there's going to be lunchtime chat as well, but Friday evening I'll be putting on some party tunes. We did talk about music on Monday as one of the ways to like uplift yourself a tool. So I'll be sharing with you some of my party tunes. I guess me wanting to move makes me feel upbeat. And hey, if you want to join in and you want to give me some requests, I can be DJ Fee for the night. Well, for an hour. DJ Fee coming at you Friday night, okay? And I'll also be making maybe a cocktail if I got the ingredients. I'll have to see, okay? I might be making a cocktail or two, but we'll also have that conversation around alcohol and mental health and how, too much can be awful, and kind of when to not drink, really, when you're feeling a bit, don't fall into those pit holes of I'm having a bad day, so I'm gonna neck a bottle of wine. Sometimes that can be the worst thing that you do. Anyway, I'll talk more about that on Friday, but it's all going to be upbeat, fun, discoing, cocktails. So bring yourself a drink if you want to join me. It can be soft, it can be hard, it can be whatever you want it to be. The choice is yours. But keep an eye out on my social medias for times and links and whatnot. I'm on all my social medias as Life of a Crazy Mum, except Twitter. I am Life of Crazy Mum. Because someone took the one with an A. Anyway, search me. You're more likely to find my website, Life of a Crazy Mum. No surprise there. But there's links then to all my social medias through my website as well. So find me on most social media platforms with Life of a Crazy Mum. And oh, hi Gabby, nice to see you. Yeah, so search my platforms. My platforms, not mine, I don't own them. Search the social media for me. Follow, like, share. If you can donate as well, obviously this is all in aid of the Mind charity to raise funds and awareness for mental health. I've dropped my link in some of the chat boxes. If not, you'll find it in my bios of most of my social media. So if you go to my Instagram, everywhere, I've just mentioned all. Go to all my social medias and you will find either my link tree. I'll put the link on there. You will find the donate button for Mind, okay? So please, 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 even if you donate £1, £2, it's better than zero, okay? And every little helps. It all adds up at the end of the day, okay? If every one of my followers just give £1, there would be like not £1 million, because I don't have 1 million followers, unfortunately. Ooh, Dom wants to be my guest speaker. Thank you, Dom. That'd be great. I'll see how I can get you on. Book yourself in. You're in. I've booked you. Great stuff. So I'll end it there, my lovely viewers. And I shall see you all tomorrow. So thank you all for joining. Don't forget to like, share, follow my YouTube. Nobody ever watches me on YouTube. Can someone watch me on YouTube at some point? And I shall see you all tomorrow. Bye.